Hey everyone, I'm Bob from the Satellite Beach Live YouTube channel. Many of you are probably aware that we run a 24/7 live stream of the Grand Canal here in Satellite Beach. But one of the questions that I'm often asked is, well, what's beyond that stretch of the Grand Canal that we could see on your live stream? Today, we're going to answer that question by taking a leisurely tour up the northern half of the Grand Canal. Let me just give you a little bit of background. The Grand Canal runs north-south on the west side of the Florida barrier island where Satellite Beach is located. This area on the bank of the Pineda River was at one time a swamp heavily infested with mosquitoes. Back in the 50s, they decided to reduce the mosquito problem by digging a 4-mile long canal in the swamp and heaping the spoils on the west side of the swamp, creating a kind of a sandy, buildable land area, and at the same time a navigable canal, now known as the Grand Canal. This aerial photo from the late 50s shows what it looked like shortly after the digging was completed. Today, it looks a little bit more like this, with most of the 4-mile island now covered by canal front and riverfront homes. Come along with me as we take a relaxing trip north on the Grand Canal. It's going to be a leisurely trip. It has to be, because this is a minimum wake zone, so we'll be going 4 to 5 miles an hour. Let's go drop the boat in the water. Here we are at the start of our tour of the northern half of the Grand Canal. Just to orient you a bit, we'll be heading almost due north. And on the left of our boat, or on the port side if you're a boater, is Samson's Island, a beautiful 52-acre nature preserve owned and maintained by the city of Satellite Beach. It's bounded by the Grand Canal on the east side, where we are, and the Pineda River on the west side. A small canal that we're about to see separates the northern end of Samson's Island from the Tortoise Island subdivision, and another small canal on the south end separates it from the Lansing Island subdivision. But we're going to save that trip south for another day. As with the rest of this 4-mile island, the spoils from the dredging of the Grand Canal were heaped onto this narrow spit of land and pretty much eradicated the previously existing ecosystem. Invasive Brazilian peppers and Australian pines came to dominate the area, but the city of Satellite Beach, with the help of many volunteers, have removed most of these invasive plants, returning the preserve to its natural state. The restoration of the natural ecosystem here has led to the return of many native birds and animals. For instance, today on the island you will now see a wide variety of birds such as horned owls, pileated woodpeckers, roseate spoonbills, ospreys, egrets, and blue herons, which are those large, majestic birds that you will undoubtedly see if you watch the Satellite Beach Live 24/7 webcam very often. If you go fishing here, you can catch tarpon, redfish, trout, snook, sheep's head, and many other species of fish. Samson's Island is a truly natural place with many hiking trails that allow visitors to enjoy the Florida that was here 500 or 1,000 years ago. There's easy boat and kayak access to Samson's Island, and the more daring among us can do primitive camping overnight with a permit issued by the city. I'll leave a link in the description with the contact information for the Satellite Beach Recreation Department should you want to find out more about Samson's Island or to get a permit. The whole stretch of dense trees on the left of the boat is the nature preserve area, and the canal that is coming up on the left marks the northern extent of Samson's Island, and we start to see the houses in the Tortoise Island subdivision. If you look straight down this small canal, you'll see the Banana River out there, and beyond that there's a stretch of land in the distance, and that is the southern end of Merritt Island. From this point on up to the northern end of the Grand Canal, it's all residential land on both sides of the canal. And not surprisingly, just look around, it's very much a boating community. This small canal on the left winds through the Tortoise Island subdivision, and we'll see where it rejoins the Grand Canal a bit north of here. Every house on this canal and on the many interior canals, they all have docks. These docks come in all shapes and sizes and conditions, and you're going to see that as well. With the constantly moving salt water, the winds, the hurricanes, exposure to the sun, these docks don't last for a long time, and you're going to see some are brand new, but many of them are in need of repair. The house on our left with the two blue Adirondack chairs is the home of this Satellite Beach Live YouTube channel. You can see a weather station on the roof of the covered dock and a vertical mast supporting the south-facing camera. In fact, all of our cameras for the 24/7 live stream are mounted at various points on this dock, and I'll leave a link to the Grand Canal live stream in the description. Let's continue on northward towards the Tortoise Island Bridge. The Tortoise Island drawbridge right in front of us carries traffic to most of the homes in the Tortoise Island subdivision. You can see that the white graduated gauge at the waterline indicates we've got about 10 feet of clearance between the water and the support beams of the bridge. Now, I'm pretty sure that we're going to fit under this bridge, but if you're piloting a sailboat with a 30-foot mast, you're going to need to hail the Tortoise Island guardhouse on Marie Channel 9 and ask one of the guards to come down and open the bridge for you. And usually there's a wait there, both for you and for the traffic when the bridge opens up. On weekends, boat traffic's pretty heavy, and those bridge openings happen pretty regularly. At Christmas time, the Grand Canal is really quite a spectacle. Not only do we have the Christmas boat parade that travels south on the Grand Canal, in other words, the opposite of the direction that we're traveling, but many residents decorate their docks, so it's quite a festive scene around the holidays. I'll drop in some night footage of the canal when I do the final editing of this video so you can see what it looks like during the holiday season. Also, if you've never seen the Satellite Beach Boat Parade itself, check out one of our boat parade video recordings on the Satellite Beach Live YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description to a video recording of the 2021 boat parade. It's quite a beautiful display of decorated boats held at 6 p.m. on the Saturday before Christmas. And it's also sponsored by the Banana River Sail and Power Squadron, also known as America's Boating Club of South Brevard. And by the way, we also broadcast it live on our 24/7 Grand Canal live stream if you'd like to see it this coming season. This canal and the many tributary canals are a boater's paradise because the Grand Canal offers an interesting yet protected area in which to boat no matter what the weather. And boaters have quick and easy access to the higher speed boating in the Banana River, which is connected just south of here to the Intracoastal Waterway. So basically, the whole east coast of the U.S. is accessible from your backyard by boat if you live here. There's very little tide here because the nearest outlets to the ocean are Sebastian Inlet, which is about 23 miles south, and Ponce Inlet, which is about 63 miles north. Now there is a series of locks at Port Canaveral about 16 miles north of here, but not much water goes through that series of locks into the Banana River. I mentioned tributary or finger canals earlier, and here's an example of a larger finger canal. Most are smaller and shallower than this one and can't accommodate the larger boats, but I see some good-sized vessels here, so this is probably in the range of 6 feet deep. Although in my experience, most of these finger canals get shallower the further up the canal you go. We're now looking due east towards the clouds over the ocean. The beach is about 1¼ miles in that direction. When we get a strong, continuous wind out of the north, you will see the water rise a foot or two as it blows the water down this way out of the northern extremities of the Banana River. And in fall, we also see the water level come up a foot or two during a king tide when the earth, moon, and sun are in alignment. All that said, generally, there is very little tide here. Here's a smaller canal, more typical of the size of the canals that you'll see around here. But whether it's a small canal or a large canal, all these houses have a beautiful water view in their backyards. Just some more examples of the many shapes and sizes of the docks along the canal. Many of these docks are actually designed around the dimensions of the particular boat the owner has, because that determines the width and length of the opening necessary to accommodate their boat. The bigger boats, like this large catamaran, are just too big to fit on a mechanical lift, and they require bottom paint that's resistant to the growth of barnacles. But if you put something in the water around here for very long, you're going to see barnacles growing on it. So even with bottom paint, these boats that sit continuously in the water require periodic scraping of barnacles. Many docks have built-in benches or movable chairs like these two blue Adirondack chairs on the left. For a goodly number of owners, their docks are as much a viewing platform as a place to house their boat. And it's not a bad view watching the boats and kayaks as well as dolphins, pelicans, and blue herons and other sea life every day. On the left is the northern outlet of the canal that winds through the Tortoise Island subdivision. We saw the southern outlet earlier just after we left Samson's Island. That unusual aircraft that you see is a VTOL, a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft headed for Patrick Space Force Base just north of us. Now right in front of us is a temporary visitor in the canal. It's the business end of the dredging process that's been going on for several years and will continue for the next several years. The muck is sucked off the bottom by this machine, and the slurry is pumped into a pipe, which you can see here, and sent up the canal to a staging area where it's filtered and desiccated, and then the purified water is returned to the canal, and the dried muck is sold as fertilizer. These markers show where the pipe is located as it lies on the bottom of the canal. For those of you who don't live in this area, Brevard County is contracted to have the muck on the bottom of the Grand Canal and finger canals removed. The muck on the bottom of the canal inhibits the growth of seagrass and marine animals and releases nutrients that are favorable to the growth of algae. And this in turn depletes the oxygen in the water and can lead to fish kills. That stand of trees in the center of the screen is the very north end of the Grand Canal, and we'll make a turn there as we complete this video. This is another of the vehicles being used by the dredging company, moored at a temporary floating dock. We're going by the staging area itself on the left. The dredging company has done a good job of obscuring their industrial work that they're doing with this muck. But you can see some of their equipment through the openings in the trees. Straight in front of us is the northernmost extent of the Grand Canal. There's a wall on the other side of those trees. Now you can't hear anything on this side, but right on the other side of that wall is the Pineda Causeway, a major artery bringing hundreds of cars on and off the barrier island every hour. Brevard County has done an excellent job of preserving the natural appearance of this area and preserving the peace and quiet for the residents. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our narrated tour of the Grand Canal here in Satellite Beach. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the Satellite Beach Live YouTube channel. I can assure you there are many other interesting waterways like this one in this part of Florida, and we plan on bringing you more videos like this. So if you want to be notified when those videos come up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll know when they're available. Take care, everyone.